Hello, how's everyone out there? So today I decided to do a video, and this video is important to me. I I had a realization or a awakening moment, or I don't know. I just had something, but it led me to want to do this video today. Basically, I had a spiritual awakening, and like I watched a lot of different videos. I watched probably hundreds of videos on different things, and I've learned a lot, and some of the things I've learned have been so very helpful and have helped me to progress. But a lot of times during, because I recently, this is something that's been recent. This has not been something for years or a long time that I've been actually this process. I'm actually kind of new to this. It's kind of the beginning for me. So I'm not like a guru on spiritual awakening, but I do know a lot of times in the beginning when you hear videos, and if you're like me, a lot of people who go through spiritual awakenings, you'll hear like the stories of how, they just woke up and everything was magical and it just felt great every day and it was just new and things like that. And, that is so amazing. It's so amazing. But that was not my story. And I think that was the hard part for me. Yesterday I went on one of my rants that I do go on sometimes, or, I do go on rants sometimes. And basically I just was ready to give up, just go back on everything. I just want to go backwards. Like, this is too hard for me. It's too much. Like, I don't get it. Like, I'm not getting what people are talking about. I can't just wake up and, every day is just wonderful to me and it just feels like a whole new world every day. It's a process, and, that's the hard part is, like, sometimes you hear things and, it's like, wow, like, well, why isn't it like that for me? Well, maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe this isn't right. Maybe I'm, I should keep questioning myself, or, just a lot of things may run through your mind, but that's not it. That's not it. Like I said, I went on my rant last night. And I don't need nobody to rant with. I can do it just fine by myself. So I went on my personal rant with myself last night. And this morning I got up and I was, like, I'm done. I'm not doing anything spiritual. I'm just going head straight back in to the whole, whatever part of the matrix I was in, I'm going straight back there. This is just way too much for me. I don't think I'm doing it right. But I was laying there, and I wanted to take a nap, but then I decided to come outside and sit under the sun. And, I love the crows. For some reason, they've become very, very significant to me. And I'm just watching them, and like the sun is just hitting me, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm telling myself, it's gonna be okay, just you'll figure it out, So I go back into the house, and of course, I wasn't planning to watch any videos or do anything that had to do anything with spirituality, bettering myself, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. And then a video popped up. And like I said, I was watching the crows, and you know, when I always see the crows come around, it just always, like I said, means something to me. So, you know, I said, okay, the video popped up, you know, it probably means something. So I clicked on the video, and it was a Infinite Waters video about procrastinating. Something, again, I have this tendency to do. And you know, he was just talking about procrastinating, and you know, like how time goes by and the importance of things and doing what you love. And it just got me to thinking, like, you know, all right, I could lay here. I could lay here. I could lay here and, you know, think of all the things that I'm not going to do to better myself. And, you know, that'd be great. But I also could put out a video and, like, let people know that are going to start going through their spiritual journeys, or are in the early part of their spiritual journeys, that, like, you know, sometimes it is difficult. You know, sometimes, you know, you are going to face challenges, you know, and you may be around people that are not on the same plane that you're on, or going in the same direction that you want to go in, and you might realize that these people aren't the people that you necessarily want to be around, you know, all the time. They may test you, or, you know, and some days it's going to be hard, you know. Some days it will be difficult, but, you know, there are good days, and there are people out there that do care, you know. And, like, I am a person that, like, I want to know the truth. I like to know the truth. Like, you know, I love to hear people's stories, but sometimes it's easier for me to relate to things or understand things better when they are things that I have gone through, or, you know, challenges that I have faced, you know. Like, sometimes it's like, you know, you may go through something and somebody will tell you, well, you should just do it like this. And it's like, okay, but how do I get to that point? You know, like, oh, no, just do it like this, you know. And like I said, that's, you know, that's how some people work. But other people, you know, like, I'm 41, and I've been through a lot of trauma in my life. So that's 41 years of trauma I have been through. And not to mention the fact that, you know, your ancestral trauma you carry and things like that. You can't just wake up one day, not everyone, and, oh, wow, it's just so magical outside, you know. The shadow work is very important, but it's also important to remember through your spiritual journey that you're going to have hiccups. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have magical days. You're going to have good days. You know, you can have people that you love that you don't relate to anymore. And that's hard. That's hard, you know. That's very hard, you know, and it takes time. It takes time to really process things, you know. It takes time to just, like, you know, all of this is someone I may have grown up with. This may have been a family member, a sibling, a parent, a best friend, a cousin, you know, and for you to just say, oh, I don't care about you anymore, you know, time to, you know. I've always done that, you know. I've always, like, carried the attitude of I don't care, like, you know, and it's because I had to. But I don't have to anymore, you know. And that's one of the things that the spiritual journey has shown me, is that I don't have to pretend I don't care. So in the process of me, you know, thinking and things like that, am I going to sit here and continue to think of all the things that I'm not going to do to better myself? You know, I decided to pull some tarot cards. And I also read something in this book. This book I love this book. I read this, you know, a page a day. But it kind of was right on time, because it says, when you are kind to someone in trouble, you hope they'll remember and be kind to someone else, and it'll become like a wildfire. And that's a Whoopi Goldberg quote. And this is the Ivana, I don't know how to say her name, but Vincent, yeah. But this is a great book. So that was very on time, because if that video had not come across my screen, I probably would still be thinking about all the things that I'm not going to be doing to better myself, and like, nobody cares. So I would be really defeating my own purpose, but also I wouldn't have been able to come out here and like maybe help someone else who will be going through the same thing, or is going through the same thing, to realize that every day is a new test, and every test is not going to be a cinch. I think that's another problem that I had in life, is I've been through trauma, but as far as like school, I had a hard time in school because I did not want to be there. I never felt challenged, and this is a challenge. It's a challenge, because it's something that you really have to work on. For those people who like wait till the last 2 days to study for a test and pass, you'll understand what I'm saying. This is a challenge. This is something that you really have to work on. So in the midst of me pulling my cards, and giving up, like I just wanted to tell you some of the things that, like, through my spiritual journey that might help you. Some things that I've been looking all over the place to see if other people may have been going through, and everybody's story is different. Nobody has there are people who wake up and everything is just perfect and wonderful, and they're able to just to ascend fast, but then there are people who have to do more shadow work than others. I'll say it like that. Yeah, more shadow work than others, and that's okay. That's okay. That's part of your test. It's not really. It's about passing the test. It's not how fast you pass the test. It's about passing the test, because once you pass the test, like, you go on to another test, but that's not a test that you're going to have to keep passing and keep passing it. You'll have to take some of the things that you learn to help you pass through other tests, but it's not something that you'll have to keep going through. But I as a kid, I felt a little different. Like, there are things that I remember as a kid, like, seeing, and they were so vivid to me, even to this day. Like, with this spiritual journey, I've been able to say things like, when I was about 7 years old, I remember I was upstairs in my house, and there was a window, and I'm looking out the window, and I remember seeing this green like creature run by my house, and I'm like just staring. It was like the Hulk. He kind of looked like the Hulk, but to this day it was so clear and vivid to me. Like, I often used to question myself, like, was it real? But through this process, I have learned that a lot of what we try to tell ourselves is not real. That's what's real. And a lot of things that we see are not real. That's just it. That's just it. But I pulled this card. This card today is Mama Wata. And this card is like special. I kind of laughed when I pulled this card because, I don't know, I just feel a very closeness with this card for some reason. I try to keep pushing it off, but I just keep feeling like a closeness to this card. You know, I don't know why. I just do. But, well, I do know why. You know why? Because I wrote down some things. Mami Wata, she's a mermaid, which is fitting for, you know, the movie and things that are out. But she's a mermaid. She's about pleasure. She's about truth. But she's about emotional nakedness. About being emotionally naked. And that's kind of what I was saying in the beginning of the video, is that saying that I don't care, or pretending that I don't care, or saying that sometimes I don't feel vulnerable, or I'm scared, or, you know, my feelings are hurt, or just any type of emotions that we try to downplay, like, does not get us anywhere, you know. Coming on here on these videos, I've done other videos, and they were very authentic and they meant a lot to me, but this one really means something to me because I can't pretend that every day is just peachy, and every minute is just so peachy. I can't. Like, that's not me, and I'll never be able to grow on grow or excel if I try to attune, or try to follow, or try to live by how other people made their success, or ascended, or found their treasures, or love, or inspiration. You know, shadow work means doing my own work and working with my own emotions and my own feelings, you know. Like that's the one thing that is very important for me to want you to understand, is you have to understand, like, a lot of us have had trauma in our lives, really, 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 really serious traumas, and how can you just, you know, wake up and say, you know, none of that matters today, you know, I love everybody. No, you have to do the shadow work. You have to work on yourself. You also have to realize, you know, everybody's story is not the same, you know, and don't be hard on yourself if, you know, if one day, you know, you might slip in your mind, I really don't like that lady. You know, you correct yourself and keep it moving, you know. You're not going to fail, slip, fall. You know what I'm saying? Go back down to ground zero, you know. None of that. Like, that's emotions, you know. That's life. That's you growing. That's you dealing with your shadow side. That's you ascending. Realizing, you know, maybe even if you don't like somebody, why does that person trigger me? Should I be around this person? I'm not saying talk about people or hate anyone, but realizing some things aren't for you anymore, or you've outgrown some things, or maybe you need to work harder on, you know, talking bad about yourself. I agree, that's not where it's at. But also realizing that sometimes you need to tell yourself, like, I did eat 7 cupcakes, so maybe that's the reason why I didn't put on about extra 10 pounds and look kind of chunky in the stress. You know, instead of, you know, I just look so great and feeling uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you know, you do have to check yourself, you know. So being emotionally naked, you know, I think that's so important, and I really, really, really want to learn to embrace my emotions, you know, to speak my truth, you know, not always having this armor up, like, I don't care, you know, all the time, because I do sometimes, and I do get my feelings hurt, you know. So that's why this card is so important to me. But also healing, you know, she has to do with healing, for fertility, sexuality, fidelity, music, arts, beauty. I mean, these are all amazing things here. But some of the things that, I wanted to kind of talk about are like signs and different things. There are a lot of days that I question myself, like maybe I am crazy. Maybe I'm going crazy. Trying to explain things that, just like aren't explainable. You know what I'm saying. But through your journey, a lot of you will probably get signs, synchronicities, and things like that, and you might try to explain them to yourself, like, maybe it's because I just like looking at the clock at this time every single solitary day, or I don't know, however we try to explain stuff to ourselves, but in the beginning of my spiritual journey, I quit my job because I kept seeing the synchronicity of 11:11 come up on the time clock at work every day for like a week. Every day for like a week. Now I've questioned that. Like I said, things haven't been totally easy for me. And I thought they were. Like I said, I thought this was going to be like a, alhamdulillah, and we can work it out. Everything's coming. But it wasn't like that, So seeing 11:11 on the time clock, which meant it's very spirit. That number means a lot to me because that's actually my son's birthday. Other synchronicities numbers that have been important to me, and synchronicities. I'm kind of starting to learn that, like, they're your own. Like they're. You kind of will see on some of the websites that, now sometimes I still check just in case, but you'll start to see that they mean something different to you. Like all of them mean something different to everyone. They're not all the same. This number could mean something to me, but it could mean something totally different to you. But like there are a lot of things that I did question. Like I said with that, telepathy. I'm sorry, I do still have a problem with talking a little sometimes. I do. But telepathy, that right there, like I had a hard time with, explaining that to myself, explaining certain things, like, you may be thinking something and someone says it to you, says it back, or says something kind of like that to you, and you're like, how did they know what I was gonna say? Or another thing is, like, I remember one time I was in the mall, and I remember feeling like someone I knew was around me, like there. And, I didn't see them at all. I didn't see them. So I go to get a deck of tarot cards. So I'm going up the elevator, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking around, but, I don't see them or whatever. So I come back down after I get my tarot cards, get in the car, and they're walking right out the mall. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? I'm sorry. I still have a problem cussing. I'm trying not to do that just because I don't want to be the type of person cussing all the time. But ain't nothing wrong with a little cussing sometimes. But I'm like, why? Things like that, like, trying to just explain stuff like, well, maybe because, things like that, trying to explain stuff to yourself. You're going to drive yourself crazy trying to explain stuff to yourself, Also, like, some of the physical things, also, water. Water helps with, like, intuition. It helps to clear your mind up. Water has always been really, really good for me. I know, like, when I used to get, like, you know, I went through depression, a lot of depression growing up. But I noticed when I go through depression is I don't drink a lot of water. I grew up drinking a lot of water. You know, weren't really allowed to drink juice and stuff like that growing up. So I noticed that normally, like if I get depressed, that's when I stop drinking water for some reason, you know. And then that's when I also pick up weight. Water is a great tool for losing weight. Great. Or water with lemon. It's really good for clearing your mind. Some of the physical things, though, I've noticed is like I was getting headaches. Really like bad headaches. Sometimes when I get really locked in or focused on something, I notice that there's like a pounding in my head, and I can feel it in my eyes, you know. It's like I'm downloading information or something. That's, you know, I'm starting to notice that, like I have different, you know, there are different signs and symptoms, you know. I think we should all, you know, make sure that if we having different physical symptoms, to, you know, keep, you know, mark down and keep track of those things. But everything cannot be explained by a doctor, you know. And sometimes it can be, and it's just because, you know, they might have a medicine to put you on. So, but that still might not be the case, you know. So, I just wanted to give you some helpful tips, you know, to help you along your journey. You know, I know this video was not perfect, and I'm learning that's okay too, you know, but it's real, you know, and spiritual awakening journeys are real. You know what I'm saying? Like, real, you know. I've heard people say that people went crazy, you know, so I have felt like that some days, you know. And, you know, I just wanted to make it easier for people that might not have the beginning of their spiritual journey. It might not be the easiest, but, you know, I wanted, you know, you to know that there are other people out there who are going through it, have gone through it. You can learn a lot from watching videos. But never, 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 never try to fit yourself into other people's shoes, because it's going to stress you out so much more. It's going to stress you out so much more. And you'll be angry. Like, well, it's probably lies, because it's not working out like that for me. And I've tried it this way. I've tried it that way. But have you tried it your own way? Have you tried it your own way? Have you tried it your own way? You know? And that's kind of what I wanted to say. Like, don't slight your feelings, you know? Do not slight your feelings. You know, that's the main importance of this card is emotions. You know, emotional nakedness. Yes. But something I read out of the book, there's a pamphlet that comes with these cards. These are the goddess. Oh gosh, I'm just not doing it today, but that's okay. These cards are wonderful. I've posted them in other videos, though. Talked about them in other videos, I think. But one thing she says, and the writer puts for Mama Wata's guidance, is hide no more. The emotional nakedness you avoid is your superpower, not your shame. That's deep. And I want to leave you with that, you know? I want to leave you with that. So, have a good day. And remember, you know, everything you feel is important. You know? Love you.